The Nile had always been Egypt's lifeblood, a serpent of sustenance winding through golden sands, but beyond its banks lay the Great Sea, vast and untamed, a realm of mystery that even the mighty Pharaoh dared not ignore. On a morning painted in hues of lapis and gold, the royal fleet prepared to set sail. The Pharaoh, a man whose very presence commanded the sun's pause, stood at the prow, his robes rippling like banners in the salt-kissed wind. His courtiers, draped in fine linens and jewels, murmured in excitement, all except one. Zion. A nobleman of high standing, Zion had spent his life in the safety of marble halls, his feet never touching anything less solid than polished stone. Now, as the ship lurched forward, his knuckles whitened around the rail, his breath coming in sharp, shallow bursts. The deck swayed beneath him like a living thing, and with each roll of the waves, his terror grew. By the time the shoreline vanished into the horizon, Zion was a man unraveling. His cries tore through the air, raw and desperate. He clutched at anyone who neared, his eyes wild, his voice a hoarse litany of doom. We will drown. The sea will swallow us all. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The Pharaoh's patience, once unshakable, now wore thin. The voyage, meant to be a triumphant display of Egypt's might, had become a spectacle of one man's terror. Among the travelers was Idrris, an elderly scholar whose quiet presence had gone unnoticed until now. He moved with the deliberate grace of a man who had spent a lifetime observing, his dark eyes holding the weight of untold wisdom. When he approached the Pharaoh, his voice was as steady as the earth itself. Your Majesty, he said, bowing deeply, grant me the freedom to act without question, and I will silence this storm of fear. The Pharaoh, weary of the chaos, gave a single nod. Idris turned to the sailors. Throw him into the sea. A stunned silence followed. The crew hesitated, but the scholar's gaze was unyielding. Do it. With reluctant hands, they seized Zion kicking, screaming, and hurled him overboard. The sea swallowed him whole. For a heartbeat, there was nothing. Then spluttering, gasping Zion surfaced, his terror now a living, thrashing thing. The waves dragged him under again, and his screams turned to choking gulps of brine. Panic became survival. Just as his strength began to fail, Idris raised a hand. Pull him up. Drenched and trembling, Zion collapsed onto the deck, his fingers digging into the wood as if it were the only truth in the world. His breath came in ragged bursts, but his eyes were different. Clear. Thank the gods, he whispered, pressing his forehead to the planks. Solid wood. From that moment Zion was silent. He ate. He slept. He even laughed as the ship cut through the waves. The sea had not changed. But he had. The lesson in the depths. When they returned to port, the Pharaoh sought out Idris. How did you know? He demanded. How did drowning him cure his fear? The scholar gazed at the horizon, where the sky met the water in an endless embrace. Because, Great One, I once drowned my own heart in fear. His voice was soft, threaded with memory. I loved a woman so fiercely that my terror of losing her became a chain around her neck. She left. And in that emptiness, I learned the weight of my own folly. He turned to the Pharaoh, a sad smile touching his lips. Some fears must be faced to be conquered. Till Zion tasted the sea, He could not see the safety of the ship. The Pharaoh nodded slowly. Then let it be known, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to face it. Your journey awaits. Fear is a shadow, it grows when we turn away. But when we step into it, we find it was never as vast as we imagined. What is the sea that terrifies you? The unknown. Failure. Loss. Perhaps it's time to dive in. Because only when we face the depths do we learn how strong we truly are. Will you let fear drown you, or will you let it teach you to swim?
Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.